On behalf of the graduating class of 2012, I would like to welcome one and all to the 57th commencement exercise of Preble High School. A special welcome is extended to Board of Education members Mike Bletka and Mary Franz. Green Bay Area Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Michelle Langenfeld, Preble Principal Ms. Natasha Rowell, and Associate Principals Mrs. Renee Every, Mr. Jim Van Abel, and Mr. Thomas Jennings. And finally, I would like to recognize our teachers, parents, families, and friends who are present this evening to offer us support and join us in the celebration. As you sit in front of me, I know what many of you are thinking. What will life be like without high school? Most of us are excited to finally be done with exams, projects, and AP testing. But for a moment, I want you to think back to September 3rd, 2008, the first day of high school. As we walked into the big gym, fear, anxiety, and even excitement were some of the emotions we felt. As we sat there waiting, we scanned the crowd for cute guys or girls, future friends, and even our competition for the next 4 years. None of us ever thought how much high school would impact our lives. Throughout these 4 years, we have grown together, matured together, and excelled together by having our classmates by our side to challenge and encourage us to become the people we are today. We have been motivated to achieve our personal goals. Our classmates have inspired us to achieve academically so we can succeed in the future, while others have pushed us to excel athletically, musically, or socially. We have made friends with people unlike ourselves, and acquaintances with those who might be important to us in the future. It may be 5, 10, 20 years from now, when we'll stop someone on the sidewalk and say, "Hey, didn't you go to Preble High School?" And once again, we will walk with a fellow classmate. No matter what walk we take in life, we will always be reminded of the memories of Preble High School. So graduates of 2012, as we make this final walk together, think back and ask yourself, where would you be without each other? Thank you. Monica Minor, Connor Gindt, and Merrick Griffin will now speak on behalf of the class of 2012.
August 29th, 2000. It has been 4,290 days since we started this journey together. 4,290 days ago, we woke up early, anxious and animated about finally being old enough to hang our backpacks on the coat room hooks and sit in those wooden and metal desks facing a chalkboard-covered wall. We were ready to absorb our future through the guidance of our first grade teacher. Today, I would like to address the memories of the past, the journey to the present, and the choices for the future. I remember that first day of first grade as a point in our lives when everything came with little struggle. Having the coolest lunchbox signified that you really had style, and having the 96 color crayon box with the built-in sharpener meant that everyone wanted to be your friend. It seemed like we had the world in the palm of our hands. Yet for some reason, all we wanted to do was grow up and be like those really tall people in high school who get to graduate. Well, even now that we're finally here, I don't feel that grown up yet. And personally, not too tall either. It's crazy to think of the dream of sitting down in this giant arena, dressed in these forest green gowns, is finally here, after so many years of seeming like it was a lifetime away. And as I'm giving this speech, I'm sure that exact feeling is pumping through our veins still. The anticipation of walking through those curtains and receiving our diploma is stinging at our hearts, like the true hornets we have learned to be. As our last step together, let us absorb the journey that has taken us here and glimpse at the possibilities for the future. I was once told a metaphor that in our lives we climb many mountains. That struggle to push your limits and reach the top will always test a person's breaking point. It is in us to encourage each other to be selfless, yet to still want the best for ourselves, as well as those around us. It is this support from our peers that helps us scale to the top of every obstacle standing in our way. The unexplainable feeling of accomplishment and self-achievement when you're standing at the peak of an obstacle you had to overcome is reassurance that yes, on that first day of first grade, we were right. We do have the world in the palm of our hands. But receiving this diploma should not halt us in striving to achieve our best. It should be a reminder of every mountain we have climbed in this portion of our lives, and reassurance to descend safely back to the ground and continue our journey to conquer many mountains to come. Even though this is our last step as a collected group, it is a step into a new beginning. We are the future. Be the change and lead by the example that you wish to see in the world. Because now we are those giant grown-ups, finally taking our part in society. Congratulations, Preble High School, class of 2012. We finally did it.
Good evening, friends.
It is an absolute privilege to speak in front of the people that we have spent the last 4 years of our lives with.
Our love for poetry started in our language arts class freshman year. Merrick and I wrote poems back and forth, and as the year went on, we secretly manipulated the seating charts so we would be able to sit next to each other. Our teacher was bewildered as to why our supposedly random seating charts always paired Merrick and I together, and we have been writing poetry ever since.
Over the last 4 years, Connor and I have written over 50 pages of poems, some sincere, some funny, but mostly a combination of the two. We figured that it would only be appropriate to write one final poem that shows our appreciation for the time and for the memories that we have made with all of you at Preble. As a new day began, we walked into school, afraid of the upperclassmen, not wanting to look like a fool.
But as time passed, we found our way through the halls, and we spent countless hours in between Preble's walls.
We made friends, we played sports, we joined many different clubs. In hopes of winning an iPad, we collected lottery ticket stubs.
We geared up for dances, homecoming, snowball, and prom. And we waited patiently, getting our pictures taken for Mom.
We played on freshman teams, JV and varsity too. In the spring, we went to Cabaret to watch Center Stage and Rendezvous.
We celebrated together as the Packers won the Super Bowl, and we cried together as we lost for members of our soul.
Brittany Kainberg, Mrs. Sundstrom, Gabby Fritchie, and Paige Doreen. They are with us forever, though they are not seen.
The band was always there, playing their horns, drums, and flutes, performing Lady Gaga and earning money for new suits.
Each lunch hour, we'd end up at Benetti's Nest, the school store, buying Mambas and Laffies and so much more.
Mr. Jennings never failed to impress with his suspenders and his ties. And in the ways of chemistry, Mr. Bronowski is wise.
To earn music, we'd get to class on time each day and every hour. All those with first period gym knew it was necessary to shower, but we didn't.
Many times our mathematical minds were headed down dire straits. Brad Bookmeyer was in the paper almost as much as he lifted weights.
We stayed strong through the hard times and laughed and smiled through the glee. We struggled through run walk days, waiting for the bell to set us free.
We welcomed in exchange students from lands far and wide. We showed them Hornet spirit, made them feel Preble pride.
We watched the Metro scoring record get broken by Kenzie Perttu. We welcomed young freshmen as a part of Link Crew.
Then we directed them to the 3rd floor, where the pool is, of course. Then struggled through language, attempting to cite each source.
Forever by Chris Brown filled our ears in '08, and we will have these memories forever. Man, high school was great.
Now we leave in 2012 listening to We Are Young by Fun. Our futures are bright, guys. We can burn brighter than the sun.
Next year, we'll dorm with people. They could be weird, it's true. And if your roommate is normal, then the weird one is you.
We made choices, we made mistakes, and we learned from them all. We made memories that we will cherish until the day that we fall.
As we take our last steps, and it's the end of the day, we look around. Will we be here without each other? The answer is
no way.
Thank you, Preble High School.
Thank you.